Ever found yourself staring at your bank statement, wondering where that mystery charge came from, only to realize it's an overdraft fee? It's a frustrating feeling, right? Like you're being penalized for accidentally mismanaging your money, even if it's just by a few dollars. And if you're considering opening a new checking account, or maybe you already have a Truist One Checking account and you're not entirely sure about their overdraft policies, that worry about those fees is probably at the back of your mind. So, the big question we're tackling today is, does Truist One Checking have overdraft fees? That's what we're going to dive into in this video. We'll break down the specifics of Truist One Checking's overdraft policy, look at what fees they might charge, and, importantly, explore ways to avoid them. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to pay extra money to their bank if they don't have to. We'll also compare Truist One Checking's overdraft policy with some other common checking accounts to give you a better sense of where it stands. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of Truist One Checking and overdraft fees, empowering you to make informed decisions about your banking. First things first, let's talk about what an overdraft actually is. Simply put, an overdraft occurs when you spend more money than you have available in your checking account. Imagine you have $50 in your account and you try to make a purchase for $60. If your bank allows the transaction to go through, you've overdrawn your account by $10. Traditionally, this would trigger an overdraft fee, which can range anywhere from $20 to $40 per transaction. And those fees can add up quickly. Now, the crucial question: does Truist One Checking have these kinds of overdraft fees? The answer is a bit nuanced. Truist One Checking does have overdraft services, but they've taken steps to minimize the impact of fees on their customers. They offer what they call Truist Overdraft Protection. This service links your checking account to another Truist account, such as a savings account or a credit card. If you overdraw your checking account, money is automatically transferred from the linked account to cover the overdrawn amount. This transfer helps you avoid those hefty overdraft fees. So, at first glance, it seems like Truist One Checking is pretty good when it comes to overdraft fees. And in many cases, that's true. If you have a linked account and the transfer goes through smoothly, you'll likely avoid the standard overdraft fee. However, there are a few important details to be aware of. While Truist Overdraft Protection can be a lifesaver, it's not entirely fee-free. Here's the catch: while the transfer itself might not incur a fee, if the linked account doesn't have enough funds to cover the overdraft, you could still be charged a fee. It's crucial to understand the terms and conditions of both your Truist One Checking account and the linked account to know exactly what happens in this situation. Also, keep in mind that if the transfer comes from a credit card, you'll effectively be incurring a cash advance on your credit card, which might come with its own set of fees and interest charges. Another important point to consider is the number of times you can use overdraft protection within a given period. Truist, like most banks, has limits on how frequently they'll cover overdrafts, even with a linked account. Exceeding those limits can also lead to fees. So, even with the overdraft protection, it's essential to practice responsible money management and try to avoid overdrawing your account in the first place. Now, let's compare Truist One Checking's overdraft policy with some other common checking accounts. Many traditional banks still rely heavily on overdraft fees as a source of revenue. They often charge a fee for each overdraft transaction, regardless of whether you have any overdraft protection services. These fees can quickly drain your account, especially if you have multiple overdrafts in a short period. Some online banks, on the other hand, have taken a different approach. They might offer no overdraft accounts, where transactions are simply declined if you don't have enough funds. This eliminates the risk of overdraft fees altogether, but it also means you might face the inconvenience of declined purchases. So, where does Truist One Checking fit in this landscape? It's somewhere in the middle. They offer a form of overdraft protection, which is better than accounts that charge fees for every overdraft. However, it's not entirely fee-free, as there are still scenarios where you might be charged. Compared to no overdraft accounts, Truist One Checking offers more flexibility, allowing transactions to go through even if you're slightly short on funds. But this comes with the responsibility of managing your linked accounts and understanding the potential fees. So, how can you avoid overdraft fees with Truist One Checking, or any checking account for that matter? The most obvious and most important way is to diligently track your spending and maintain a sufficient balance in your account. Use budgeting apps, online banking tools, or even a simple spreadsheet to keep track of your income and expenses. Set up alerts for low balances so you can transfer funds if needed. If you have a linked account for overdraft protection, make sure it also has enough funds to cover potential overdrafts. Another strategy is to avoid making large purchases or withdrawals if you're unsure about your balance. Check your account balance before making any significant transactions. And if you do accidentally overdraw your account, try to deposit funds as quickly as possible to minimize any potential fees. Finally, familiarize yourself with the specific terms and conditions of your Truist One Checking account. Understand the details of the overdraft protection service, including any limitations or potential fees. Knowing the rules will help you avoid any surprises and manage your account more effectively. In conclusion, Truist One Checking does have overdraft services, but they offer Truist Overdraft Protection, which can help you avoid standard overdraft fees by linking your checking account to another Truist account. However, it's not entirely without potential fees. If your linked account doesn't have enough funds, or if you exceed the limits on overdraft protection, you could still be charged. Therefore, understanding the specifics of the service and practicing responsible money management are crucial for avoiding overdraft fees with Truist One Checking. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.